Well, it's a very tough read, a heartbreaking investigative series into the deaths of children in foster care. It's featured in this week's Edmonton Journal. The facts really are shocking. 145 Alberta children died in foster care since 1999. They suffocated in bed, committed suicide, or died of disease. One of the reporters who worked on the story, Karen Kleiss with the Edmonton Journal, joins us now. Karen, thanks so much for coming in. I can't imagine the emotional toll this must have taken you on in a roller coaster, but such an exhaustive piece. It took over, what was it, over 4 years, and 3,000 documents you went through here. How did it all come about?
Well, about 4 years ago, I was working on a story about a child who died in care, and we were trying to get some background information about how many children had died in care, and the government just couldn't provide it. The medical examiners couldn't provide it. We tried to look through annual reports. We couldn't find the numbers. And so we realized that the only way we'd get a number was by looking at each and every death record for every child who died in care.
And nobody had done that before. So you get in and take a look at that and tell us about some of the alarming trends, because it's pretty tough stuff here.
Well, we did an analysis of all the deaths in care, and we realized that 1 in 3 children who dies as an infant, and 1 in 3 is a teenager. Teenagers tend to die from suicides, which are heartbreaking. Infants tend to die from everything from sudden infant death syndrome to shaken baby syndrome.
What about, if you just talk about some of the, in your article you said that the death records were heavily censored. Why is that?
Well, it was a 4-year legal battle to get access to the records. The government initially released some records to us. They were almost universally blacked out. They wouldn't tell us the age of the child, the gender of the child, the ethnicity of the child. They wouldn't tell us who was taking care of the children when they died, what agency was in charge. So we felt that that was not enough information to fully scrutinize Alberta's $684 million child intervention system, and so we decided to put in an access to information request. And
you got it. And then the rest just is history, as they say here, and off you went. Can you tell us now, I mean, there's so many stories, and it has to have an effect on you. Any stories jump to mind?
Well, it was a heartbreaking series to write, as you might imagine. We interviewed several families who'd lost children. I think the one that haunts me the most is a story of a woman who told me about actually having the child taken from her in the hospital. So she was in her hospital bed, the caseworkers were there, and she'd brought all of the stuff to the hospital, the bag of diapers, the diaper bag, and she tried to get them to take the bag with the baby, and they wouldn't, so she had to take the bag home with her. And if you can just imagine,
what was going through her mind and coming home empty.
Devastating.
What do you hope people will get out of this? What did we learn from this series here so far? Errors that were made, perhaps? Well,
I think we need to recognize that the people on the front lines of the system are doing, they're real heroes. And if it was easy to prevent children from dying in care like this, they would have done it a long time ago. They care about kids. I think the important thing is that we're learning from the deaths when they do happen, and I think you'll see later on in the series that we've got a story about the oversight system, and I'm not entirely sure that Albertans will be satisfied that that's happening right now.
So you're taking each day, we can look forward to another story here and get more insight into this problem.
Yeah, we've told you about, in the series that's unfolding over the next 6 days, you'll hear about the kids and their families, so we've tried to tell you some of the most shocking stories that we've found in those records, but we've also done a really thorough analysis of the system and the oversight of those deaths as well.
Karen, thanks so much for coming in. It's a compelling read. It's a must read for everybody out there.
Thanks, Gord.
Thank you.